Hello everybody, my name is Kenneth Orlens, and in this video I'm going to give a beginner's guide and tutorial for the game called Kai Sangokushi Taisen, a game that is just released several days ago and it's really fun and I'm addicted to this game. So the whole concept of the game is that you need to destroy your opponent's base, or at least if you cannot destroy it, you need to reduce as much as health of the base as you can compared to how much your opponents reduce your base health. And this is a 1v1 game which is divided into 3 rounds. It's auto battler and it utilizes cards, or in this case NFTs, since they are going to implement the blockchain technology soon. So if you see here, if you click play on PC, you will be redirected to this page, and if you click game start, you will move into this website. And the first and most important thing to do is click the 3 lines here, and then in the third row, this one, you click it, and you click in this part and change it into English and click this gray thing. Look, you change the language. That is the most important part as a first step when playing this game. Yes, it will load quite some time, or probably you can just close it and reopen it while it's loading. Probably it's kind of buggy because this is still the early access. The game is still new, and as you can see here, the interface is now already in English. Very good. And before explaining the game, I want to tell you the history of this game. So, this game is inspired from the original game called Sangokushi Taisen also, but this is the arcade version. So, as you can see here, there are the arcade machines, which in the real life, you will use real cards and you will move these cards around the board with using your 2 hands and try to destroy the opponent's base also. But the Kai Sangokushi Taisen version, although the main element takes from this real game, but it also adds up fresh ideas into the game, which also makes it more kinda like auto battler and like auto chess, which I will explain further later on. But comparing these two, I prefer the Kai Sangokushi Taisen better. Why? Because the arcade version is more like a real-time strategy game in which you need to actively move around your cards every second, think of new strategies. It requires skills that I myself, with my small hands, and also I only have 2 hands, and I must move like around 5 cards around the board every second. It gets confusing at times. But in Kai Sangokushi Taisen, you do not need to take care about moving your hands around because it's auto battler. And we can see this is the real arcade version. If later on you see the Kai version, it's similar. Okay, you move around the base, attacking your opponents, trying to take down their base. Simple game. And now let's move into the real Kai Sangokushi Taisen 1. There is the deck, card list, and merchant. Let me start from card list. There are a lot of cards in this game, but probably when you first start playing this game, you will not see as many cards as me, and probably not all of them are in full art. Probably this one, the circle, this is not full art and it's level 1. But if you have a full art, it means it's at least level 2 up to level 6. You can upgrade your card up to level 6. And first of all, the only way to upgrade your cards is by buying using real money, buying these card packs or the awakened soul packs. But the first of all, it must be from card packs in order to get awakened souls. And it costs 1,500 per orbs to get 5 cards at random with a 10% chance of getting super rare. And this is the cost of the orbs. Okay, so one card will cost you $3 at random with a 10% chance of super rare. And let's go back to the card list. And in here, you can see a lot of data. First, if you notice, there are several colors of the border. This one, I call it red. This is also red. This is also red. Okay. The color on the left, okay, the red one. And the color on the right, the black one, it's the rarity. So this one, it's white. The right one is white. This is common. And then the black one, it's uncommon. The silver one, it's rare. And the gold one, it's super rare. But let's focus on the left color, the red. Okay. There's the red, there's the green, there's the blue. And these three refer to the three kingdoms of this game, okay? The red kingdom, the green kingdom, and also the blue kingdom. The red kingdom is called as the Wei. And then the green kingdom, the green kingdom is called as Su. And the blue kingdom is called as Wu. So this is a historical game in which in the year around 200, so around 1800 years ago, China is contested between three kingdoms trying to get as many as land as they can. The Wei, the Su, and the Wu. And this game tried to implement that historical fighting into a game. And in the card, another thing that you can see is first the unit type. There are three main type of units. The cavalry, the first one, and then the spearman, and also the archer. These three kinds of unit are like paper, scissors, and rock. Why? Because you can look at here, the cavalry will most likely beat the archers. Why? Because archers utilize distance. Their range unit, they attack from afar. But cavalry, they are quick and they can charge the opponent. So the cavalry can reach the archer quickly. That's why having a distance between you and your opponent is not so optimal. If your opponent is a horse, is a cavalry, while you are an archer, because they can get to you quickly and kill you. And on the other hand, the archer can easily kill the spearman because they are walking on their feet. And it will take a lot of time, and in the meantime, with the distance, you can attack them and kill from afar. While the spearman can counter the cavalry, because no matter how fast you go, the spearman can just wait and also take position, and when your cavalry charge into them, they will just spear you, and your animals will die. Your horse will die. So that's the rock, paper, scissors aspect of this game. And let's go back to here. There's unit type and also force. Oh, before going to force, there are two other unit type that I must tell you here. The first one is infantry. It is not in the rock, paper, scissors scheme. It's just a normal units with sword. And also the last one is besieger. They utilize a weapon, the siege weapon, and they will directly focus on attacking the enemy castle without interacting with the other opponent card. And they will deal more damage to the opponent castle. Remember, your goal is to reduce as many HP of the opponent's castle or base as much as you can. And this besieger unit can be helpful at times. Okay, and let's continue. There is the force and intelligence. Force refers to the attack and defense of your unit. It comes as both things, attack and defense. It comes as a packet. It's force, the strength of your unit. While the intelligence is how smart your unit is. There are a lot of strategies implemented in this game, a lot of skills, and some skills will give damage to the opponent. And how much damage your opponent receives will be calculated from the difference between your intelligence and your opponent's intelligence. If the difference is a lot, let's say your opponent is stupid and then your card is smart like this is a 10. And for example, the opponent only has 1, the intelligence. So it's a 9 difference, and it probably can directly kill them off because the intelligence is very different. Next, some characters have skills. For example, Cao Cao here has 3. You can click the search to read what the skill means, or some even don't have any skills, and it's fine. And cards also have costs. Usually, the more expensive the cost, the stronger the card is. And for example, this means the cost is 2.5. Well, for this one, it only costs 1. And for example, this one, it costs 3. So cards can cost between 1 until 3. So 1, and then 1.5, and then 2, 2.5, and also 3. There is no such thing as 0.5 in this game, or more than 3 for the cost of 1 card. And then let's continue. There's the Archer special. You can read here, increases regular attack damage against Archer. So if you have awakened your cards by purchasing from the merchant, you can upgrade your card and it will show full art, and also it increases the specialty. So Cavalry will have Archer special. It deals more damage to the Archer. Infantry will have Cavalry special, while the Archer will have Spearman special. And then the Infantry will have health reinforcement. It means that they will have more health at the start of battle. While the Besieger will have Siege special, increase siege damage. Okay. And as you can see here, for example this one, the Onrush Awakening and Archer special is still locked. Why? Because I have not awakened this card. This card is still at its lowest level, level 1. Well, if you have awakened it by purchasing it from the merchant, you can unlock this card. Special thing and also the awakening. And awakening unlocks at level 2. Well, if you get one card when buying at the merchant, you can directly use it to upgrade your card and it will directly open the awakening. That is what I mean. Well, upgrading it any further to level 3, 4, 5, or 6 will only increase the specialty. Archer special and other things. So the most important thing is to go to level 2 because it will unlock the Ghost Awakening, which is very important. So if we look at this one, for example, the Ghost Awakening, lowers number of units required for strategy activation. What does this mean? Cannot. So every card have its own strategy. And for example, this Cao Cao, it has the Overlord Core strategy, which raises attack of Wei allies within the area. So all of the red card that you have within the area will receive a bonus attack or force. And the criteria, activation criteria here is 7 red card. So you need to have 7 red card in your gameplay in order to activate this skill. Well, this is the range of the strategy itself. And by having Ghost Awakening, it lowers the number of units required by 1. So you only need 6 instead of 7 units that are colored red in order to have this skill activated. Another example is this one. Activation criteria is 4 Warlord. This means that you can have 4 of any kingdom, any type, and any kind of cost. There are some more specific. For example, this one. It requires you 5 Spearmen in the deck to activate its skills. Or for example, this one. It requires you to have 7 green correlated cards that need to be played in order to activate these card skills. And also, for example, this one. You need 7 of the blue colored cards. Okay. I hope this is clear regarding the skills. And at the beginning of the game, you can choose a deck. And the cost is a maximum of 4. So, let me show you a mix of a maximum of 4. Well, most likely you will have 4. But even if you have only 2 or 3, it's fine. So, for the purpose of this example, I will just choose a mix. You can choose from any kingdom, from any rarity. And I choose this one. Remember, in this case, I will not explain you about the strategy, but just about the basic guide about how this game works. That's the point. And let me use this one. And also this one. So it's the total cost is maximum 4, And do not forget to click on edit. If you click on X and then you go back to deck, your deck is not safe and you need to make it again from the beginning. So always remember to click edit. Okay, now I click edit. Now it is safe. So I can go to the exhibition. It's not ranked if you see here. So rank opens from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. UTC plus 0 or Greenwich time. In Japan time or in UTC plus 8, it's from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. While in my country, Indonesia, it's from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's the time which you can play rank and your rank can increase or decrease. But the other time from that, so 12 hours for rank and 12 hours for non-rank, you can try as many strategies as you can. It's up to you. Without needing to be afraid for your rank to decrease. So now, since it's a 1v1 game, you can see this is the lineup of your opponent. Very important for you to think what kind of strategy that you need to implement on this game. So, you need to select a province to deploy a warlord. This is still early access, so only one province is available. So, you can see there are many kind of tiles here. This one, the red one, this means that if you click this, it means that you will definitely get one card from a red kingdom. It can be of any type. If you click this one, let's say we go here, then you will get one archer, but it can be from any kingdom and from any cost. If you choose this one, it's a random, totally random. It can be anything. Okay, and if you click this one, it means that it will give you a card from any kingdom, from any type. It can be cavalry, archer, or even spearman, but the cost will be 2. Definitely 2. And if we go here, so the 3 kingdoms are the 3 biggest factions. But there is also factions, the gray one. Let's say the neutral factions. The factions that are smaller and not in the 3 kingdoms, it's all included in this gray one. So, for the purpose of this game, let's just move randomly. Okay. Let's just okay. And you will get a gacha here. And these are the cards that you get. And you will get a total cost of 3. You can choose any kind of combination. For example, this one and this one. Maximum of 3. If you, for example, only choose this one, you will have 1 remaining. It will be carried over in the next round. There will be 3 rounds in this game. And in total, you will get 9 additional costs to enhance your team. The goal is to make sure that the cards you recruit will have you to activate the condition of the cards you already have and also even the cards you already recruit for. Let's say for example this one. For warlords unit in a deck. It's not specific the rules. So look how many cards I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this skill is already activated. You can see here 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4, it means the 4 warlord units in a deck means minimal. So if you have more than 4, it's totally fine. The skill will still be activated. This one only needs 2 warlord. Well, this one needs 5 way warlord or 5 red colored one. Well, I only have 2. So the skill, the greatly increased own attack, blah blah blah, is not activated for the time being. So if I want to activate this card's effect, this card skill, then I need to collect 3 more red colored units from the other 2 rounds. So let's just try to move this. And this card has the ambush skill. And I will explain this furthermore during gameplay. While some other cards have other skills, but the most important thing that I want to explain is the ambush. And you can see here, the Pangtong, it's in shadows. Unlike the other one that you can see directly. The opponent cannot see the Pangtong. And the Pangtong is in the ambush state. The ambush state will be revealed later on when it is in contact with the opponent. But for the time being, let's just look at it. And if you can see archers, they are shooting arrows from afar. And then the horsemen here, the cavalry, they are charging towards the opponent. You can see the aura, the red aura, and the spearmen, they have spear walls. Like the pointy, it's the spear walls. Okay. It can counter cavalry. Well, you can just see. And previously, if you see or you can rewind the video, the Pangtong did some ambush and it deals damage to the opponent based on the difference in the intelligence. So, the smarter your card is and the less intelligent your opponent is, then the more damage you will deal from that ambush attack. While if the difference is not a lot, then the damage is minimal or even no damage at all for ambush. So now let's try to get red cards, because let's say I want to activate this one, the Yuejin. You can move your cards to see what cards you have gathered and your opponents as well if you want. Let's move here, try this one. This is just an example. Normally per round you will get 5 movements. How can I get 7? Because this card, for example, it has the march skill. It adds 1 movement on the board. This one also have the march skill, so a total of 2. It is stackable, so I get 7 movement. So now we are rolling the lottery, sorry. Okay. We get options. Let's say I want to go with this one and also this one. Okay. Now we can redeploy our troops. We can move even the cards that we have already placed in the first round to anywhere we want. So let's just say I want this kind of formation. This card is still not activated because I need one more Wei Warlord. This card also not yet activated. This card also not yet activated. This one activated, this one activated, this one not, this one activated, this one activated. If you see the gold border around the card here, this one has gold, this one has gold, this one has gold, this one doesn't. It's whether it's awakened or not. That's just it. Not whether the condition has been activated for the stratagem or not. Okay. Here you're reminded regarding the affinity. You can also check the opponents, whether they already trigger the activation of their skills. And yes, the text on the right is in Japanese. I've contacted the team. They are very supportive and communicative. They are on their track to rework this text, but you can just click search and read it from here. It's the same thing. Let's go to battle and let's see if the opponent is already prepared. Okay. Okay. So some skills activate at the beginning of the battle, some activates during the battle itself. And now this is the example of skills that activates during the battle. Some can reduce the force, some reduce the intelligence, some do both, some deals. Yeah, look at this. Pangtong deals damage to Madai. But the difference is just 7 minus 5. It's just 2 difference. So their intelligence is not so far. In which case you see Madai doesn't get its health reduced a lot. Let's say if Madai has only 1 health, 1 intelligence, it might get killed directly from that ambush. Now the opponent also has its own skills activated. Remember that the force or the number 16 in Zhao Yun is very important in this game. So even though, let's say, this is archer and the opponent is spearman, but you see that my archer is dying from the spearman. Look, but cannot. You said that these games implement rock, paper, scissors. Yes. But if the strength difference is too far, you can even Even Rock can defeat Caesar. That's what I'm saying. And you can see here the seats ready for Yi Ji and also Zhao Yun is different because Zhao Yun is in the middle of my castle and it has like a thunder or shining or what you say here. It means it will deal more damage to the opponent's castle because it's in the middle. And let's see if anywhere we can move. And note that if you move to a base before, you will not able to acquire any warlord here. So it's no more use. Try to avoid those things. Let's just try to move like this. And let's see. What do we get? Okay. This is important and I want to show you the Besieger. So I want to show how the Besieger moves. Let's put the Besieger here. Okay, all other. It's just moving around. I'm not doing any strategy here. Remember, the point is to explain how the game works once again. So do not try my strategy in your gameplay because most definitely you will lose because there's no strategy in this. Look, even the skills is not activated. This is a bad implementation of strategy because you need to try during the lottery phase, the recruitment phase, you need to get as many stratagem activated as you can. Sorry, sometimes I switched up between stratagem and skills. If I'm in skills, the gameplay probably is the stratagem, as you can see. It is what it is for the time being. And voila, the final round starts. And the Besieger fights with a weapon, with a siege unit. And it doesn't interact or attack the opponent's card or units, but it will directly go straight into the opponent castle. And if it connects with the opponent's castle, it will deal massive damage, way bigger than the other type of card of unit. So Lady Su did an ambush on my card. The intelligence is 10, but my card is not so smart, so it get killed pretty easily. Look, if the intelligence is the same, it only deals very little damage. So placing your card wisely is important. The Besieger moves slowly for the time being, but once its skill is activated, it will be quicker. Look, like this one, power up. The force, the health increase. Oops, sorry. This Besieger doesn't increase speed. The other Besieger increase speed. There are only two Besieger units for the time being. One for the Kingdom of Wu that I'm using, Dongxi, and the other one is called Wang Yueying for the Kingdom of Su or the green colored one. The Red Kingdom, the Wei, doesn't have any Besieger unit yet for the time being. As you can see here, the opponent's cavalry is is very strong, the Zhao Yun, and my units got obliterated. And that's it. I lose this game with dealing less damage than the opponent regarding the castle damage. Okay, so I lose the game. That's the basic of the game. Very simple, very quick. And since this is not a rank mode, I don't get my rank reduced and nor my opponent get his rank increased. And there is a word match. This is a private match you can play with your friend. You can enter a code here and play together with your friend. And let's go back to the merchant. So if you want to awaken card, you need to buy this using real money. If you have upgraded a lot of cards using the cards you get here, you can go to Awaken Soul and draw card packs. One card will require you to spend 650 Rainbow Orb. It's earned from upgrading your cards, and you also have Warlord Souls pack. This one you can get this for free if you join the pre-event, but the cards you get from this, even you got duplicates, cannot be used to upgrade your cards. So as you can see here, for example, Chow Chow. To upgrade, you need to consume 2. This means you need 2 more cards of Chow Chow, the awakened cards, to upgrade into level 3. But the cards that you get from the Warlord Souls pack are not awakened. They are just normal. So if you get a duplicate, it will be directly converted again into less Warlord cards. So no use. To blatantly speaking, it cannot be used to upgrade your cards, the ones you get from this one, because there is a difference. Once again, this is you get normal card, while from this one and this one you get awakened card. Okay. Okay, this one is the type of icons that you can get from roaming around China recruiting heroes. The fixed general icon, you will definitely get this one. This character, or this character. This is just example. Or affiliation icon. You will get one out of the 4 different colors. The red, the green, the blue, or even the gray. All the unit type icon. There are 5 unit type. The cavalry, spearman, archer, infantry, and also besieger. Or based on the cost. And also random. It can be out of from anything. And then the game also gives explanation regarding the unit type. I will put this in the description, the link. It explains what each unit do, and then the strategy, the dance, the buff, the debuff, and the damage, the strategy of cards. And regarding these 4 strategies, there is the order of activation. The first is dance, and then the buff, the disruption or debuffing, and also the damage. You can read this more later on by yourself. I will put it on the description. And this game is still in its early access. It is just released on 30 April, so it's less than a week since this game is released, and it has a ton of future updates planned ahead. And let me tell you one thing, the developer of this game, Double Jump Tokyo, received a massive amount of investment, like around 13 million US dollar, to make blockchain games. And for the time being, this is still not a Web3 game, it's still a Web2 game. You purchase using your credit card or debit card. But for the long term, if you read the future update, they will give more card packs, more battle pass, and then the market one, it's an NFT market. The cards that you get from purchasing packs, you can sell it on the NFT market using cryptocurrency and such things. And they will get better system updates, more functional, and then other important things you can see. My favorite is the guild system. It's like the clan in Clash of Clans, okay, the guild. And various other fun aspects in this game. And this is the official X or Twitter account of the Three Kingdoms, the Japan one and also the English one. Oops, sorry. Let me show you the English one. This one. The English has 210,000 followers, while the Japanese one only has 38,000. But I recommend you to follow also both English and Japanese, because the Japanese, you can just translate it if you cannot understand or speak Japanese. But it's very more up to date compared to the English one. It gives more frequent information, more important data, quicker updates in the X of the Japan account. Or you can also go to their Discord. Okay, let me check. I believe the Discord is okay, this one. You can click this one from the main website and you will be redirected to the Discord. You can just click continue to Discord and you will open it. Okay. Next, I want to tell you that they have also many news that you can check. Also news. And okay, I believe that is all from my video. Thank you for watching. I hope you understand regarding this beginner guide, because in the Discord there are so many people getting confused regarding how to play this game, the mechanics, what to click, the language, and such things. But I hope this video clears things up. And my name is once again is Canada Orlands. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.